Can you believe it's been over 20 years? Now, some people might not be able to conceptualize that, mainly because they're not 20 years old themselves yet, but... Man, back in the day, this was just the coolest thing. It was like a full-on RPG that you could take with you. So hey, I'm Shog, and I'm going to be playing Pokemon Green. Partly because, you know, it's been 20 years since the launch of Pokemon. Partly because, you know, I've always wanted to do a Let's Play, and what better game to start with than the beginning of the Pokemon series? Good old Gen 1. Let's not dilly-dally, let's begin! This is an actual Pokemon Green cartridge. I got it from a con, so there's a good chance that I'm going to stumble a bit. My comprehension of the Japanese language is a bit, what's the word? Laughable. That's about a good way to describe it. I can read a bit of kana, but my comprehension would get me laughed out of a kindergarten, so, you know, if I do start reading some of the text boxes, please try not to laugh too loud at me. Not that I can hear you, but, well, I can hear you. I can always hear you. Alright. For those of you unfamiliar, in Gen 1, you only really choose your name. You don't get to change your clothes or do anything neat like that. So, since I feel like being completely contrary, I'm not going to be red or... well, I'm not going to be green, I'm not going to be Satoshi, I'm not going to be Ash. Even if I wanted to be Ash, I don't have the option. There's only Kana. Since I'm playing Pokemon Green, I might as well name my character... There it is. Is it... like that? There we go. There's a good chance that I misspelled that, but I was going for red. Red. I will find out in just a moment whether or not I got it right. Ah, I got it wrong. Damn. Oh well, it's fine. Let's see. Since I'm red, I guess he can be green. That's probably right. And if I'm not red... I'm sorry. And if I'm not right, then you can just laugh at me. You can just laugh at my ignorance, because that's what I plan on doing with myself. Red wa Famicom wo shitteru. Yoshi! Sorozoro dekkakeru yo. I don't want to go yet, I want to continue playing my Famicom. I wonder what games Red has on the Famicom. This being 1995, there's a good chance that he has a bunch of Mega Man games, but... there's really no telling. Obviously, the first three Super Mario Brothers, he'll have those, and Legend of Zelda to boot, since those were made by Nintendo, but there's no telling what else he might have had. Perhaps Red is over in his house playing Devil Land, or whatever the Famicom game is named that we never got into the US because of the Great Satan Scare of the 1980s. Ask your parents or older relatives about the Satan Scare of the 1980s. It happened before the Great Video Game Wars. Well, console wars. Let's see, Oak lives down there, but I don't want to visit Oak. I want to start my journey now. Oi, matte! 危ないとこだな。草むらでは。Sorry. I probably got some of that wrong. But the gist is, as we all know, that Professor Oak is warning me about wild Pokemon who will attack me because I don't have my own not wild Pokemon. Shi-san, machi kutabireta zo. God, that was awful. I'm not sorry, but I'm going to apologize for, you know, inflicting that upon you listeners and viewers. The iconic moment of truth when I must choose my destiny between a turtle, a lizard, and a flower dinosaur. Since I've named myself, well, since I tried to name myself Red and I'm being completely contrary, I'm going to go with Hitokage, or Charmander, as some people might refer to him, or her. This is Gen 1, so there are no genders. このポケモンは本当に元気がいいぞ. I can almost read. I do not want to give it a nickname. I wonder which one he chose. I literally have no idea. It is a complete and utter mystery what Pokemon not Gary chose. I like to imagine that Green, Gary, just has a Walkman kind of attached to him. Every time he goes into a room, he hits play and his theme song starts, and I mean, in the anime, he had a chorus line of girls to do that for him. Let's see. Pretty standard setup. Attack, Pokemon, items, run, but I cannot Nigeru from this battle since it is a trainer battle. What can I do? Hikaku, Nakigoe. I'm pretty sure this is Leer. Oh, it's Growl. Oh boy. Well, that could have been worse. And that could have been better. Squirtle shaking his butt at me as I scratch it. You like that, don't you, you little squirrel turtle? As you can see, it's tackling me. It's chomping at the bit. This is exciting. This is surprisingly exciting, considering we only have one offensive attack apiece. I'm also a bit surprised that my Charmander is faster than his Squirtle. Although turtles aren't really known for speed outside of water, I guess. That went surprisingly well. I think the last time I tried to play this, I got knocked out in this very first fight, which reminds me, this is not a Nuzlocke. If you want to watch a Nuzlocke, then I'm sorry. I may do a Nuzlocke in the future. After I get through Pokemon Green, if I decide to play through Silver or Gold or Yellow, then I might do a Nuzlocke then, but since I'm playing in a different language, I think that's enough of a limitation, or handicap, whatever you want to call it. Speaking of handicaps, I'm not going to get the map. I know there's a map in there, but I don't want it. Oh, Popo. Oh, hey! Charmander healed. I completely forgot about that happening. I'm just gonna quickly go to Viridian City as soon as I possibly can. I will take this free sample from him. I want to be able to catch Pokemon sooner rather than later. I want to build up my team so I can be the best like no one ever was. This kid needs to get out of my way. There we go. Arrgh. Oh, this is fun. I'm already getting frustrated at the random encounters now. I'm not even anywhere near Mount Moon. I assume Mount Moon will be called something like Tsukiyama. That would be a very literal translation. Also, I'm probably wrong. You know, maybe I should have grabbed that map just so I can know what every town is called in this version. Okay, I've delivered whatever it was Oak wanted me to deliver. Since I can't read the language and things are a little bit different, like this gentleman here who is drunk and not just... well, not drunk, he's hungover. He needs coffee, yes, but it's not because he's sleepy. Anyway, since that's different in the Japanese version compared to the English version, the American version, I wonder what I actually gave that shopkeeper for Oak. Maybe it was just Pokeball parts. Maybe it was black tar heroin. I don't know. I can't say for sure. I've never properly learned the Japanese language. For all I know, I was just delivering heroin and hentai. It would seem like a weird thing to hand-deliver in a universe that has fully functioning teleportation technology, but whatever. Sci-fi seems to have internal rules and logic that can be broken at will. I mean, the teleportation devices in Pokemon only really apply to the Pokemon themselves and Pokeballs, so perhaps things like pornography and hard drugs are incompatible with teleportation. Unless you were to jam them inside of an orifice of a Pokemon first. Perhaps that's what Sun and Moon are going to be about, just they're going to drop all pretense and it'll be about the drug trade. I'm probably way off. A few hours ago I watched a video by Gaijin Goobmah who speculates that Sun and Moon are going to be about the sun and moon god of Shinto, of the Shinto faith, the Shinto mythology. I'll put the link for that video in the description below. I rather like him and his videos. Get out of the way, child. Thank you. He gave me the death stare. Perhaps this isn't a wild Rattata, perhaps this is that child Rattata. Perhaps this Rattata is in the top percentage of Rattata. It didn't faint with my first scratch, so it probably is in the top percentage of Rattata. You see, Trainer Joey, he was foreshadowing the whole EV and IV training thing years, possibly generations before that even became a thing. Ooh, side note number 2. In addition to this not being a Nuzlocke, I'm not going to be doing... well, is it possible to do EV and IV training in Gen 1? Because if it is, I ain't doing it. Let's see, I want to buy... and I want to buy Monster Balls. Back when I was a kid, playing Pokemon Red and Yellow and Silver, I would always buy 6 after doing the obligatory errand for the professor, but I blame the anime for that. I'm going to buy 10. Now let's go catch some Pokemon. Again, this isn't a Nuzlocke, so I will catch what I find, and I will use what I catch. Come on, male Nidoran. Female's fine. I have nothing against Nidoqueen. But I don't want a level 2 Pokemon. Granted, it would probably be ideal to catch a level 2 Pokemon. I think that's part of IV and EV training, but again, I'm not doing that, and as I've said before, I don't even know if that works in Gen 1. If that's a thing yet. I suppose you can EV and IV train all you want if that is a thing. It's... ooh, Spearow! Onisuzume. Onisuzume. I'm not sure what that means. I see Oni and think red demons with big teeth. Perhaps it is an Oni feet? I don't know. But yeah, EV and IV training, if that is a thing in Gen 1, it's probably negated by the Psychic type. because the Psychic type in Gen 1, they just dominate. Doesn't matter who you are. Psychic type will beat another Psychic type. No problem. There we go, I caught me in Oni Suzume. Cool. It is a small bird Pokemon. I assume that's what Kotori means. Kotori I know is bird. Or at least I'm fairly certain it is bird. Let's see what this is. It's another female Nidoran of a low level. It seems mean to just knock it out, so I'll just go. Ooh, I wonder if this Rattata is in the top percentage of Rattata. There's a good chance that it's not. Yes, a 1%er this is not. Then again, I'm pretty sure I just did a critical hit. And it would probably be a bad idea to switch to Spearow. Oh, I should have nicknamed it Agnew. Comment if you get that reference. It's probably a horrible reference because I wonder if Spearow Agnew is still alive. I have no idea. None whatsoever. Don't particularly care. Not that he ever wronged me. Yeah, scratch it again. Ooh, critical hit. I think I just learned the simplified kana for critical hit. Neato! Also caught a Rattata. So my fun has been doubled. Alright, Pokemon Center time. I don't know what my brain was trying to get me to say. Something dumb, probably. Yokoso! Pokemon Center, blah 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 blah. Itadakimasu. Wait, why is she saying itadakimasu? That's what you say before you eat, isn't it? I think Nurse Joy just ate my Pokemon. I could almost see Spearow being a Pokemon who would be edible. I mean, there are people who eat things like quail, and that seems odd to me. And I remember there being a joke, and I think Demolition Man, about rats being the only meat people eat. Granted, it was the people who live underground, who were ruled by Dennis Leary. Ooh, we got a twin fight. Who can tackle the best? Well, our speed is equal. And it chose to wiggle its butt at me. Twice. And I think I'll switch just for the sake of safety. Spread the experience around. Critical hit, not bad. Susuke. Okay, I think I'm going to heal up once more, and I think I will leave it here for this episode. For the next episode, I will probably travel north to Viridian Forest. I do kind of want a Nidoran, but I didn't realize Spearow, came about in that area, and I don't want to be too over-leveled when I start encountering things like Caterpie and potentially Pikachu, so I'm gonna go north and hopefully catch a Pikachu. And that guy is no longer hungover. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Part 2 will be out sooner or later. It will be out eventually. You might have watched Part 2 first, who knows?